Let me do my little shitty intro. Coming on this podcast, just a man doing the best he can with what he got. And today I got a special guest. Somebody from my past, somebody I need to talk to for particular reasons. Because we have a history. My Sergeant Eric Lee. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm well.
Well, first, let me just apologize off top. Because as you get older, you realize that, man, I had to be unsufferable back in the day. Because I got into the guard in the Army when I was 18 years old. And you guys were older. Y'all was like in y'all 30s. And I know y'all had to have a time putting up with me. Because I'm looking back at some of the stuff I did when I was 18. I'm like, damn, I was dumb as hell. So
we're all dumb at 18.
Nah, I think I was extra dumb though. But you guys used to talk about politics all damn time. Memphis and how things were going. And I would listen and I thought I was politically in tune. But as I got older, I realized I wasn't in tune to a lot of stuff as I thought I was. So,
well, see, you said you joined, you was 18. So what year was that? 2000?
2000. Yeah, I got in 2000, but I joined our unit 2001. So I think I had just turned 19, actually.
2001, 20. Man, you almost 40?
I am 40, man. I'm 44.
Wow. Time. So you got to realize at that time, some of us were at the point now where we got to start paying attention to that stuff because it really affects our lives. When I was 18, I didn't pay attention to it as much as I do now. Matter of fact, sometimes I wish I was not even in tune to it right now. It's so frustrating.
I don't throw the I'm a veteran card out a lot, but you see the military being used as a political cudgel. And even like when people was anti-DEI, and I had to point out to them that, hey, man, you know, the military is a DEI group. They're like, no, they earned it. I'm like, yo, what do you mean by earned it? Like, what do you mean? But we're always used as a, hey, man, the military, blah, 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 respect America. Thank you for your service, man. Support our troops. And you're like, yo, y'all don't really even care about this shit at all, right?
Yeah, because if they did, they'd realize that the military was forced to integrate in World War II, and they still kept it separate.
Once you get in the military, you realize that like racism ain't going nowhere. Like it's still racist in there.
When I was in Oklahoma, when I was 18, we had the racial jokes. You know, we didn't have to worry about it too much. I mean, no one really got offended, at least from what I know, from what I can remember. But there were the racial jokes and whatnot. But I also remember this was back in probably 2001, probably about the same time you came over. I had a captain tell me that the Guard is not the place for a black man. Now, he said that based on the Good Old Boy Network. You know, we did that's still alive and well. So he said that based on the Army Reserve, which is kind of just like the active Army's National Guard, was a better option because you're not bound by state boundaries. If there's a position open for you in California, you can take it. You just have to find your way over to California once a month.
That's what stopped me actually from progressing in my career. Because just to be honest, man, I got in the military because it's either that or slanging these bricks. It's like, yo, I got a kid. Either I'm gonna sell these drugs or I'm gonna do something else. And honestly, I did the math. When I did the math, and I looked up how much money I was making selling drugs. I'm like, man, this is minimum wage. Like seriously, I did the math. I'm like, yo, this is minimum wage, and that was like $7 at the time. I'm like, yo, I'm making like $7 an hour, and I'm taking all these chances. Hey, let me just go to the military, bro, because I want to go to school. I need some benefits. I need health insurance. Hell, let me just go to the military.
Unless you was Chapo or you was Papo.
That's the thing, right? And I learned that most of those guys who get like the weight, they already know who you are anyway. Like it's just a matter of time. How are you doing during this shutdown? Are you okay? What do you think about the shutdown in general?
It doesn't surprise me. I figured as soon as we got into that territory, which would be as soon as the Republicans had to come up with their own budget, it would get to this. But this is also the Project 2025 plan.
To a T.
That and the money that they refuse to give up is part of what they're trying to use to pay these tax cuts. with these agencies shutting down, they're planning to cut out a lot of programs.
The Project 2025 plan is playing out exactly how it read. If you read that plan, this is what's happening right now. What really pissed me off was you had a lot of bootlickers holding water. That ain't what they're gonna do. Trump don't know nothing about this. And now you're like, yo, this is exactly what's happening. You see the plan working.
Mm-hmm. But what's crazy is they say he didn't know anything about Project 2025, but he had also had published alongside that Agenda 47, which didn't mirror it. It had elements of it, and that's what they were listening to.
For those y'all don't know, the current government shutdown is over a budget dispute, and they're not able to get the government budget passed because they need a 60 vote. And the Democrats are not voting for this current budget plan because it will actually kill some subsidies on the ACA, aka Obamacare, that will kick off about 30 to 40 million Americans off their health care. So they're not supporting this bill or allowing their Republican budget to get the 60 votes it needs to pass. So that's where we're at right now.
But if I'm not mistaken, they only need, 10 Democrats. It's 50-50. So you cannot come up with a plan to convince 10 Democrats to pass this budget. And they're not even talking about a budget. They're talking about a continuing resolution, which, depending on how far that's going to go out, we're going to be back at the same point in 3 or 6 months.
Actually, a month and a half.
Oh, so it's only supposed to be a month.
Yeah, 30-day continuing resolution, a clean continuing resolution. The problem with this is, though, right? The Republicans have 53 votes in the Senate. The reason why this falls on deaf ears to me is because all they have to do is get rid of the filibuster. They've done it before. All you got to do is vote a majority, get rid of the filibuster, and pass the damn budget. But if you're a Democrat right now, it's like you're fighting ghosts. I don't even know what to tell these folks, man, because no matter what, it seems like it's going to be the Dems' fault. The knock against them folks earlier was, hey, man, Democrats don't fight. They're too soft. They're too passive. The branding of a Democrat is that of a sucker right now. And I don't know how they shake that because I'm like, yo, how the hell can you have the presidency, the upper house, the lower house, the Supreme Court, a majority of governors, and the government shut down and it's not your fault?
I have no idea. But that's cult speak. That's cult speak.
You've seen my Facebook, right? Because you always, and thank you for replying.
Oh, yeah.
If folks don't know.
Let me get this one. He has got to be kidding me.
And, once again, I don't put out that I'm a veteran because I don't like using that card. And you don't do the same thing, which I appreciate, right?
No, I don't. Except for Veterans Day. It was time to go to Golden Corral.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting that free meal from Chili's. But it's a weird one because you see folks saying stuff that it's just untrue. And I think one of the things about people in the military, they think that we don't talk or have minds of our own.
Not the case. Again, like I said, it's a strip of America.
The level of mediocrity that's in command of the military right now is really sickening to me because say what you want, man, our readiness has always been top notch and our ability to kill has already been, A1. Like we're the deadliest force in the world, the U.S. military. For all the gripes I have with it, that when it comes to killing, there is nobody better than us. But we all know those people in the military that like you had to pull to the side. There's been a couple of officers I had to pull to the side and be like, hey, sir, I'll fuck you up, right? You acting all tough right now, but I will come see you, right? Mm-hmm. And Pete Hepstead reminds me of those guys in the Army who ain't gonna bust a grape, but now you're in control. So you're going all kind of crazy. I'm like, this is the punk sucker that was in the Army, got that little butter bar or something like that, and he thought he was tough, and now he just over everything.
He reminds me, he's one of those that he got a little power, which while they're harping on college, now college is a bad thing. And he went to Princeton. But now college is a bad thing. Ted Cruz, Harvard trained attorney, as a matter of fact. They've all done it. Kennedy, Louisiana, Rhodes Scholar. but he wants to do the foghorn leghorn all shucks to earn some credibility.
The greatest trick them folks ever pulled was making them think that they was John Everyman when they're actually elite. Like even Trump went to an Ivy League school.
That's the elite.
Like you're being ran by the elite, but they're trying to say the other side's the elite. But that's the greatest trick they pull. And like with Pete Hepstad got all those generals in one damn room. First, I'm like, why the hell you got every general in one damn room? That's a security risk.
Exactly. I was about to say that. That's like strategically, that's about the dumbest thing you could do. 800 generals, 800 generals and their senior enlisted advisor in one room. I ain't want to say it because I ain't want nobody knocking on my door, but that was a perfect opportunity for something like, for something catastrophic.
Anybody who's been in the military knows that. Like they tell you, hey man, we can't all be in one area because the chain of command got to survive. Like you got to know the chain of command is a succession. But I'm like, do you put 800 in one room?
When that really could have been an email that they probably would have just ignored after the first paragraph.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a high school pep rally. That's what it reminded me of. It was like, man, yeah, it was like a damn near like a campaign speech. It's like these folks haven't stopped campaigning and they keep on campaigning, but that audience ain't the one you need to campaign to because at the end of the day, dog.
Right. The military is nonpartisan. They like to think, but once you get to that level, once you make it past colonel, it becomes political. Who you know, but they're still all business.
Everybody got a political leaning, right? But you should be able to put that aside to get the mission done. But when dude was like, hey man, y'all fat, we shouldn't have no fat generals. I'm like, you got 800 generals to tell them that?
Again, an email. He really fixed his mouth to say this after his pull-up video was floating all over TikTok.
And it was underhanded. It was underhanded.
He went the easiest way and still couldn't get it up.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot him some bail though, right? Maybe he had did 30. And just that last one he couldn't do. But damn it, it was still underhand.
It was still underhand. You could have did better than that. But there was another one out there with his push-ups. So if you've seen his push-ups, you'd know that, yeah, that's just him.
See, that's the thing though, right? That gets me about this faux masculinity. I always say I was raised on rape culture, man. Times have changed. I am a product of the 80s and 90s, right? I am. Like I'm trying to grow and evolve as a person. I think everybody should be able to, man. As the times change, you should grow with it.
You should. If you learn more, you should do better.
Right. Any progression comes with a big backlash. And that's kind of the weird thing. Like even like the military anti-DEI stance, I'm like, well, why are we anti-DEI? And it's somehow morphed into something that is not. Because I keep telling everybody, DEI doesn't have nothing to do with the standards. And that's kind of like the thing that Pete Hepstad was saying. Like, we got fat generals. No, that's a standard. Right? Everybody got different body types. People are shaped differently. That's why you got a PT test. If you can pass that damn PT test, I don't give a damn how big you are. Like, that's the standard. Meet the standard.
If you can pass it, then you passed it. Care how big you are. And if you are big, let's go to the tape test. And if you pass that, there's nothing else to say. You want to talk about fat generals while you're on the internet. Again, your pull-ups, they're not a pull-up. More like a pull-at. And your push-up is not a push-up. I wish I could have graded that. It'd be one. Go to the end of the line, sir. Come back.
Well, less than 1% of America is in the military. So people don't know there's a standard. Like that's even, I know I'm jumping all around the place, but that was the whole thing with Charlie Kirk talking about black pilots. I'm like, no, bro, there is a standard.
There's a standard. Bottom line, if you think black pilots are less qualified, you're going to have to find 4 instructors who are willing to put their credentials on the line to just pass them on. Because you got like 150 hours simulator. I'm going to watch you. If I was an instructor, you see 30 good hours. Yeah, you're good. Come on. No instructor's going to do that. What it did was give more opportunity to little black kids to actually, because Reagan made flight training ridiculously expensive. Of course, now that I think about it, what does that go back to? Who could afford then? Who could afford that then? We'll put it up here, so this block can't get to it. Just like when the Black Panthers started carrying weapons in California,
Gun
they can do
regulation.
something about that. I was listening to I listened to Karen Hunter on Sirius XM. Have you heard of her?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah. I listened to her years ago. She was saying, "Well, even if we don't get the guns, every black person should go out and just get a carry license. See how fast they come up with a solution then."
Which is the weird one, right? As we talk about the guard making their way into Memphis. And first, let me point out that everything I said in my previous podcast about the guard coming to Memphis has borne out to be true. I was right, and I got to pat myself on the back because y'all suckers and y'all haters won't do it, right? Y'all going to post on my Facebook post. You call me stupid and everything. But I want to say everything I said was true. I was 110% right.
Did I miss that? What did you say?
Because I was in the guard. I was laying out what the guard could do. Like, because of the Posse Comitatus Act, the guard cannot arrest anybody. That's what
Right.
they can't do that. They can only work under the police department. So my whole argument was this is just window dressing and to try to be cruel and have a show of power to make people who not even going to be in these high crime areas feel comfortable. It wasn't for people in the area. And plus, the guard's not even going to be in high crime areas. They're going to be downtown, man.
They'll be downtown.
On Bill Street. Just
on Bill Street, walking around.
I was for an increased police presence in Memphis. I just felt like, hey, as a federal government, you just give the money to the local police department because that's the department that has to handle it. If you really want to help, maybe you give more money for funding for a sustainable prison that you can keep people in, with some basic human rights standards. That could have helped. But when you get to the point of bringing in the guard, I'm like, dog, this is just, no.
It's just window dressing.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
My favorite posts are those that the news pages on Facebook. Oh, the guard is, well, I don't all change when the guard, I'm not even laughing on the inside. I'm laughing because I know the guard, really? You're thinking the guard is some crack unit out of the corner of Camp McCall? No, they aren't. They're policemen, they're corrections, they're business owners, students, unemployed. Again, a slice of, matter of fact, in the Tennessee, in the guard, it would be a slice of the community.
And a lot of the best and brightest in the guard, guys. Like, it's like a fragger dagger group of misfits who's just trying to get their 20 years in most cases.
In most cases.
They're just trying to retire. They're trying to get past the line.
If you were a problem in basic training, you just got by just to get by, and you went to AIT and you just got by just to get by. When you get back home, you were still just getting by just to get by. You're gonna do your 4 or 8, well 8 because 4 active. You're still on call. You gonna do your 8 and be done with it. In some cases, you went to get your school money. If you were unemployed, your only job was that weekend out of the month.
In most cases, these folks were Jiffy Lube, working at Jiffy Lube, fixing mufflers. And it's nothing, once again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not disparaging that. But This is not the crack unit of people. Your unit is your specialty. We were field artillery. There ain't nothing that a field artillery unit can do in a civil dispute. Like, what the hell am I going to do? Drop a bomb on your house because of this domestic violence call? I can't do anything. Only thing I can do is probably just shoot you. That's all I can do. I'm not trained to do it. We have civil servants to handle that called police officers who we overwork, which is the best thing about this whole thing. Because I've been talking to local police departments for my podcast, which I'm going to have a whole report next week on the information they gave me. But one of the things they told me were that they can have unlimited overtime now. There was a gap on that. So a lot of the police officers couldn't stay out there because they couldn't get overtime. But now the federal government is paying them folks overtime. So you're going to see maybe a reduction in crime.
Maybe. They can work unlimited overtime. Matter of fact, I have a friend of mine, I ran into him a couple months ago. I think he worked 160 hours in a 2-week period.
Damn.
Yeah. It's making a killing. Matter of fact, I used to tax them every my last full month at the police department. I made $8,000. You didn't have to ask me. You just tell me what day I can get it. I got overtime. I got some out. Yep. Sign me up.
Which is another flaw of this whole thing, because I feel like instead of trying to get the National Guard to come in, what you could have did was just get everybody a raise. Because say what you want, man, the MPD.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they did not get a raise this year. But if you're coming in making $60,000, I don't know how underpaid that is. But everybody wants a raise. Everybody wants to be recognized for their work. But they're coming in making $60,000 in basic training with a $15,000 bonus.
So 60,000 in Memphis is a lot. I'm not gonna like
That's a lot.
begrudge that. It's a lot for Memphis, but for the amount of work that we want these folks to do, I feel like 70 is
6,000 is a lot, but
yeah.
you can, go ahead and add something else to that. Give me some kind of, I don't know, combat pay, special incentive.
But see, I feel like we should give you per diem if you're a Memphis police officer, and that per diem should be contingent on you living in the neighborhood you police. I feel like if you are a police officer in Whitehaven, for those y'all not from the city, if you are policing Whitehaven area, you should live there. And if you're saying, hey man, I don't want to live there because it's a high crime area, my reply is, well, why do you think we got you for? That's the first thing. And second of all, I'm going to give you per diem and a stipend to live here. And the reason why I say that is because even the National Guards people who come into Memphis, they about to make a killing, by the way. Like
whenever they get it. Because we're in a shutdown, so they're not getting paid.
I came around full circle.
So, like I said, please, if you were unemployed, you still ain't got a check. Now you don't get your unemployment check because now you're working.
I did the math on this. If they deploy 100 National Guardsmen to Memphis, which I think the number is like close to 150 to 200 whenever they come here.
So that's about a company, which would be an MP kind of, yeah.
Like 150, right?
Well, MP company, yeah, probably about 150.
The numbers I came up with for 100, not even 150, for 100 with salaries, if everybody's just an E4, which is impossible, you're going to have some E7s, E9s, E8s.
You got to have, yeah.
For salary alone, it's going to be $500,000. But then when you add in per diem, which is $170 a day, for 100, it goes up to $1.2 million a month. And that's just for 100 people. So you add another $500,000 to that. So you damn near going to be at $1.8 million for 1 month of a unit here in Memphis who, let's be honest, Sarge, they ain't going to do shit. They ain't doing nothing. That's just free money for them folks.
They're not. As a matter of fact, I see a lot of numbers being posted on the news, but they're all from the Safe Streets Task Force with the FBI, THP, MPD, the whole alphabet soup. Some of the numbers they're doing. Matter of fact, I got a note. I was looking at it earlier. They've arrested 277 people over 5 days, recovered 67 weapons. That's really not too far from what the MPD would do on a regular basis between 9 precincts. Memphis averaged about 20 arrests a day over average. And I think it's more than that. I might actually did that wrong. It might be per precinct because you can get 20 arrests per. Let's say 20 arrests per precinct, 9 precincts.
Crime was already skewing down in Memphis. It's just nobody believed the numbers if you was outside the city in these suburbs. So what's going to happen now is they about to give y'all the same damn numbers, and now y'all going to believe it.
Yeah. But see, along with those 277 arrests and 67 weapons, what's the actual number? I mean, you give them those numbers. What were they? Did you stop them illegally, perhaps?
So that's another thing, right? Arrests don't mean convictions or incarceration.
Arrests are just arrests.
Once again, I'm going to have all this information laid out next week in my other podcast, but from talking to law enforcement here in Memphis, the problems were never arrests. The problem was like prosecuting them and them getting out prematurely because they had no space or they had like a jackleg ass prosecutor who didn't want to actually pursue higher charges. That's been the problem. The problem was never arrest.
I can give you a lived experience. July 2022, I bought a scooter. 6 months later, it was stolen. But it also has a GPS on it. Place that I bought it from, My City Rides, plug My City Rides. It's kind of like a work program. If you don't have a transportation, you can go through them, pay the scooters $100 a month. Look into it. It's a good program. So 6 months after that, my scooter got stolen. December 22. They called and told me that it was moving, but it wasn't started. So I looked outside and yes, it is indeed gone. So I called, with the whole process, called police, get my report. Somebody went looking for it. They said they didn't see it. I'm like, I called them back. I like, look, hey, they said they didn't find it. He's like, that's not possible. Those GPS will put you within 3 feet of its location. Tell me, he told me where it was. I went out there, drove out there, rolled right up to the house, walked around. I heard some voices back there. I'm like, yeah. He had some friends on the police department, so he called them back again. They get there, they pull out 6 different people. The scooter is sitting right there in the middle of, I wouldn't say living room, it's a little small room. It's sitting right there. Laid eyes on 2 of them, actually working on it, trying to jerry rig it. I had to call and ask about it because they sent the letter to the wrong address. They dropped the charges. Why did you drop the charges? The man was eyeballed by the police officer, the arresting officer, working on it. I can identify it, but are you kidding me? But that's that kind of stuff right there.
And that's what Memphis law enforcement will tell you. Like, that's the problem. And they can't keep these folks locked up. And also, going back to the state problem, because people don't know, man, cities can't make laws. Laws come from states. Cities can only make ordinances.
I remember somebody telling me that one time. I said, well, if Nashville go ahead and do what they're supposed to do, this was years ago. Somebody came back to me. What does Nashville have to do with Memphis?
Everything.
Sir, I'm going to need you to go back to civics, please.
Everything. First, they made it so that you don't need a license to carry a gun. So they made it so that anybody in Memphis can get a gun. Also, on top of that, they control the funding that Memphis has. So it's all about Nashville.
But did you see where Memphis wanted to make an ordinance against that, and they threatened to withhold funding from them if they tried to pass it?
Power of the purse, right? So it's this whole thing where, like, I keep asking what's next, because let's just say the guard and all these alphabet soup guys come in here and yay, Binghamton is beautiful now. What then? Are y'all going to add more businesses, more money for Black businesses? Are y'all going to add like more infrastructure, fix some of these goddamn potholes? Because it's like playing Mario Kart in Memphis right now. So what are you going to do? What's next after we have this show of force?
What's next? Was it last year? I think it was last year where Tennessee was found to historically have grossly underfunded TSU. They owe TSU billions with a B. What do you think Memphis might not have been shorted too? They're funding Nashville because that's where they are. You can't get past that. But I bet you Knoxville and Chattanooga has gotten far more money than Memphis, Shelby County have.
Money will insulate you from a lot of this BS that's going on in the city. Like, if you got money and you live in the suburbs, because I bet you dollars to donuts. There ain't gonna be no goddamn National Guard or no police presence in Collierville, Arlington, or Germantown.
No, that's they're not going over there.
No, they're not gonna do that. Like, the closest you may see is Cordova, maybe. But money will insulate you from a lot of things. So the real problem is classism, but we can't get to the classism because we're still dealing with the racism, because people are trying to keep a certain group of people in a certain area.
Yeah. Like Nashville consolidated almost 50, it might be 50 years ago. 1980, they consolidated. That's why it's Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County. It's all one. So here in Memphis, you have city mayor, the county mayor, city council, county commission, fire, police. You got a Shelby County Fire Department. You got Memphis Fire Department. You got all of these duplicative services. Whereas if you live in Memphis proper, you pay county tax and you pay city tax. If you're in Shelby County, which is defined by the area with no street lights, you're only paying county tax. That's it. Nashville eliminated all of that years ago. You know, by Constitution, the sheriff is only supposed to run the jails. Tennessee Constitution, the sheriff only runs the jail. So there's no need for a sheriff's department, law enforcement wise. We could actually eliminate all of this. One service, one government, one tax, but we can't get past that here because the white people are too concerned about what the black people are going to get. Black people are too concerned about what the white people are going to get.
And that's
And
kind of the
that's the
problem.
legacy
Yeah.
of Boss Crump, really.
Talk about ball scrum, because a lot of folks don't know about that guy.
So June Lee Hoover without the power, well, without the law enforcement power. But hell, he probably had that too.
For Memphis, you're being double taxed, like Sarge said, and because we rent a lot and the property is so low and the value that your schools are shitty too, because that's how we fund our schools through property taxes. So that's why like a lot of the suburbs broke away and gave the whole charter and became private schools.
Once Shelby County elected to, what was it, back in 2011 or 10 or 11, and they voted to separate. Yeah. I'll tell you what, next time you're in, ride over to Collierville, go check out Collierville High School. That's your difference in taxes right there. Germantown used to be the standard. But of course, you know, we infiltrated that. Check out Collierville High School. Boys and girls wrestling. Boys, I think they have a lacrosse team. They are funded. They have an indoor practice field, and the football field itself is something out of college. That place is huge. A new school is not a cheap function, a cheap venture, and they had the money to do that
because you're not giving any money to the city, and because of the laws, you are allowed to say, "Hey, man, well, your test scores weren't that great, so hey, you don't get no funding." Which let's just think about that for a second. If you don't score high enough, we're going to restrict funds. Wouldn't one think if the school doesn't score high enough, you should give them more funds?
More funding?
But the way we do it is, hey, man, you didn't get a standardized score, so we're not going to give you no funding. On top of that, your property values are low here, so you don't get money from property tax, so your teachers can't get paid. And that's another thing the federal government could have did. Like, while you're sending in the guard, why not send in more money for teachers? We already got a shortage of teachers. Why not do that?
Send money for teachers, send money for after school programs, send money for bands. This is just a Band-Aid on a symptom. This is not even a symptom. This is a whole disease.
So it seems to me like the whole goal is not to stop crime. It's kind of to contain it. They're trying to contain it and make a show of force to make people who are never coming to the city, who's never going to come to them areas, happy to say, hey, they're doing something. Like, you got ICE coming down here to strike fear into everybody. You got to keep the black people in line too, right? Just to let them know that, hey, man, don't get too uppity. That's exactly what's happening. And my whole gripe with Paul Young, when I called him a clown, I put him with the afro. My whole gripe was that, maybe you couldn't have done anything. Maybe they were going to come. But damn it, you should have went kicking and screaming. You should have been
looked like you were fighting about it. But I told people when he got elected, he is not here for us. He's not. He came from the Downtown Neighborhood Association, so he really had no political, I guess, affiliation, but he's connected. But it doesn't matter how connected you are. If the people don't come out and vote, it won't matter.
You won't be around here, buddy. That's why I said you're done in this town, Paul.
Matter of fact, I think he's definitely out. I'm pretty sure he's definitely out.
It's over for that guy. It's over. It's over.
But don't blame me. I voted for Michelle McKissick.
Any branch of government term limits need to be implemented. Like, once again, Nancy Pelosi, dog, you shouldn't have been in there too long. Mitch McConnell, bruh, I know you're retiring. You're retiring this year.
He's the root cause behind everything we're going on right now with the federal government.
Like, Mitch McConnell has single-handedly really ran the government with an iron fist. Him and Cheney were shadow hands in this whole damn government.
Yeah. Cheney was from the time he was it November 2008. The single most goal was to make sure Obama was a one-term president. That night the champagne hadn't even cooled off yet.
Didn't work, but he hamstringed Obama. And not my only gripe. I have a lot of gripes with Obama and a lot of policy issues with Obama. But one thing I always said, man, Obama, dog, you thought them folks really like you. You thought you could talk to them folks? Like, no, they don't like you.
And it's gotten worse now, but he actually thought he could talk to these people. No, Because the first thing they wake up in the morning and see the news, they saw this black man in that White House, and they were not having it.
That was it. That's all they needed. That was all they needed to galvanize. That's how you got Trump. Because let's just be honest, man. Like his whole get down was dude is from Africa, which once again is funny because Raphael Theodore Cruz was actually born in Canada.
In Canada. Raphael came from the Tea Party. The Tea Party came from the disdain for this black man in the White House.
Which made no sense though, because if you really look at it on paper, I keep telling everybody, Obama was a moderate Republican. Like his whole stance was really that of a conservative. Like that man was conservative. Matter of fact, his whole healthcare plan, which is one of the things I always say I knock him for. Originally, he ran on a public option. We should have had a public option, but that man took that off and just did the Heritage Foundation's plan. That's Obamacare. That's literally a Republican think tank idea. But when he presented it, it's like, nah, hell no.
That was Mitt Romney's plan from Massachusetts.
It worked, by the way.
It worked.
That's the Common Knowledge Podcast with Sergeant Eric Lee. And before we go, man, is there anything you want to say or anybody you want to shout out?
No, I think I'm going to give a shout out to my family. We hadn't talked in a while, but I have a 21-year-old as of last Saturday.
Ooh, congratulations.
And I have a 19-year-old in a couple of weeks, 5 days after my birthday.
But before we go, though, I want to give you your roses again, Sarge. I want to say thank you because I know I was a little bit of an asshole back in the day, but I want to say,
oh no, you were one of the good ones. I could tolerate you. You were good.
See, everybody say that, man. I think I was an asshole, but like, no, you was one of the good ones. So, I would say this, man. Thank you guys, you, Scott, and a couple other guys, Cardo. Y'all really took care of me, and y'all showed me like a lot of stuff. So, if Evans, yeah, shout out to him too. But you guys really,
he's THP too, right?
He's a PhD.
THP, Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Is he?
Yep. I saw him when he was doing a recruiting visit at the forum when I was working there. I work at the forum also. He was they had the little kiosk. Yeah, he was recruiting his little belt. You know, like look at him.
Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Oh. So, I mean, you guys really, really looked after me, man. I learned so much from you guys. So I greatly appreciate everything you poured into me, man. Like, if you never hear from me again, man, thank you. I was listening. Maybe it seemed like I wasn't, but I was listening. And I'll tell the story. So the reason why I got out of the military was our deployment, because we were deployed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And that was right when 9/11 happened. And truth be told, I didn't want to get deployed. I really didn't. I didn't want to go to war, but I was kind of gun-ho too. Like, okay, hell, I gotta go.
Well, our company commander didn't want to go. He was kind of like, sir, you can't be acting like this, not in front of everybody.
I'm gonna say his
That's
name,
what
but
that they lost me that one. I mean, I was fully committed to the guard, but as far as that leadership, they lost me on that one.
RCO was so not even RCO, even the lieutenant colonel. They were
He was the
so.
colonel. You talking about the battalion commander?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
He was committed to not going overseas. Like he literally did that. So they worked it out. So we had a stateside deployment.
We ended up staying there because we were supposed to go.
If I'm not mistaken, we were slated to go to Uzbekistan. That's where we were supposed to go.
To where?
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan, yeah. I think we were supposed to be attached to. I don't want to sound outlandish, but we were supposed to be attached to special operations. Mm-hmm.
We were field artillery, right? Like, look, that's what you need us, right? But they finagled a way to get us a stateside deployment in North Carolina, which, hey, man, you go where you're told to go. So we were told to go to North Carolina. And man, the things we did on that damn base, though, that base is what really turned me off and said, hey, man, I need to get the hell out of here. Because I saw so much shit.
You mean on the guard side or just Army side?
Well, we was active, right? We was on Title 10 at that point. So we were active duty. And that was when my active duty time started right then. And man,
you were on the gates, weren't you? Yeah, okay.
Sorry,
but see, that takes us back to the old boy network, the good old boy network. Because like I said, we got there, we were supposed to go. And I really believe, now that you mention it, now I think about it, looking back, he probably called back to the state, to Tennessee, to somebody he knows. And, I think he was being good with the AG at the time. Yeah. So I think that really got us off of that. But they had already spent that money. So what are they going to send it back? No, let's use them over here.
So, and to be fair, Fort Bragg was running out of soldiers because them folks was doing like 3 to 4 rotations at a time. But
I remember that because there was an infantry unit. Let's see, that was 2002. Wait. Yeah, it was 2002. Because Afghanistan, we were in Afghanistan in 2000. No, we were in Afghanistan then. We attacked Iraq in 2003. Because I remember I was sitting there watching the TV with Ricardo. Y'all call him Ricardo. Speaking of, and I think I told you about it. He graduated. He finally finished his doctor of pharmacy last year, 2 years ago.
Dang.
Ricardo's a doctor now.
Shout out to Ricardo out here doing stuff, man.
Shout out to Ricardo.
I mean, it was funny, right? Because I ain't gonna say I was exploited because I was young, but I was one of the able-bodied people there, man. I stayed on that damn gate, bro. Like, I stayed on that damn gate guard. And when I tell you, I saw the worst of everything. I saw the worst of everything. Great. Yeah. We got shot at. Everything.
Well, now, that one I didn't hear about.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
So it was funny, right? Because they put us out there with the MPs. And I don't know if you recall this or not, but before we went there and during we went there, there was a lot of dudes killing their wives because they was coming home.
One had just not too long ago. Matter of fact, he said he killed his wife and set the home on fire. Yep, I remember that one.
And when we was there, like 6 months in, it was another one that happened. And I didn't know what it was at first until like I started being on the guard and I started seeing the same people coming around. And what it was them dudes were like rotating in and they'd come home, they see dudes boots.
Some of the boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they was just, snapping like that. It was that. And I was skinny as hell. I don't know if you remember or not. Before I went to North Carolina, I was skinny, super duper skinny. And I bulked up there. That's when I started actually lifting weights. But I would go to the gym every day and I would see like special forces guys who didn't tell me they were special forces, but you see a dude with a beard, long hair, he out there
Yeah.
running for 2 hours. Then he come lifting weights. Like, okay, I know. And we became friends. And I would be there. And then 2 months later, I'd be like, yo, where's Jones? And Jones had got killed. He never came back. And then after we came back, after that 1.5 year deployment, we came back. I find out that Jones, who went to Iraq, went for a damn lie. And that's what got me out of the Army. I was like, I can't do this no more, because it became, my life ain't worth shit, because the mushroom clouds and WMD was a lie. They sent Colin Powell out there to say, hey, man.
They sent Colin Powell to give it credibility, but yeah, I knew that was no. Of course, you may not even remember this, but there was some time, I think it was before, during, he made the statement that they tried to kill his daddy.
My dad.
Right, yep. They tried to kill my daddy. Oh, wow. So you using us as a political tool. You know, like hitmen. So you want to get Saddam Hussein because they tried to kill your dad. Because they didn't find anything that we went over there for. And the propaganda started then too, because they were like, on the internet, there was these F-15s playing. Well, I'm gonna say F-15, whatever we sold them, being uncovered, buried under the sand. First of all, one, why would you do that? Two, it's no good if it's not wrapped. But like Paul Mooney said, how do you know he has weapons of mass destruction? Because we still have the receipt.
Got the receipt. And that's was my beginning of like, that was time. Because it happened in 2024, 2025. And then I lost one of my fraternity brothers. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this no more. I got to get out. That's why I got out. Like, my personal reasons. And it all stemmed from just seeing all that and just knowing that my life wasn't worth a shit at all.
Yeah. So. Well, like that, I served with people in Desert Storm who felt the same way about that one. We were over here for oil. Matter of fact, you remember the old 577s that FDC rode in? Matter of fact, it bothered me, but because I felt we were there for a noble purpose. Get these people out of Kuwait. They don't belong here. Because I was, I was about 23, 24. Still impressionable, I guess. But yeah, matter of fact, our 577 was named the Exxon Valdez. It's the price you pay with having to work with 8 other people who are kind of a little smart.
That's wow. It's funny you say that though, because that's around the age I was like 22, 23 when I was like, this ain't adding up at all. And just like that, I was like, it's a noble cause, man. We gotta get Bin Laden. Didn't turn out dude wasn't even in Afghanistan. He was in Pakistan. Wow.
Which they might have known for quite some time, because apparently Obama got him 3 years later.
Questions and need answers.
It was 2 years after he got elected. He got elected in 2008. Took office in 2009. May 2011 is when they called him.
And nobody could find him.
He had to be there at least since 2007. Or maybe the whole time.
Which terrible segue, but that leads to Pete Hegseth and the general the general meeting he had at Quantico. So I don't know if you saw that meeting. And first, what did you think about that meeting when he called?
I've seen parts of it, and I'm glad I did not have to sit through that. I'm big ups to the generals, because I couldn't have done it. I was offended. I'm not a general, and I was offended. You gotta. Let me see. How do I want to put this? Incompetent, narcissistic, misogynistic, Christo-fascist. And that's just me being nice.